What happened to your finger? Oh, is that where you punched the head the other day?
Well, the top part was. And then yesterday at practice with some of the kids.
You punched a kid?
No. Did one-on-ones. I suited up with them. And one of the deep holes with a wood shaft gave me
Oh my God.
gave me a nice one.
These kids are like 14. How are they beating you up?
Oh, no, he's 17. He's a junior.
This week we finished the Bandit project, String for Universal, and experienced Interlock. Welcome to Throne Room. First thing this week, Chris and I finished up the Bandits project, which was 3 custom Under Amour heads for 3 players on the Buffalo Bandits. For this, we're thinking a marble fade, kind of inside out, punch out with some fade lettering. I know that doesn't sound like anything, but trust me, it's gonna be sick. Also, quick warning, Chris has been kind of burning the candle at both ends, both working here and also coaching. So he's kind of losing it. Viewer discretion is definitely advised.
Check your prostate.
Don't do the gloves. Okay, besides the gloves.
Besides check your prostate.
I told you he was losing it. Anyway, now he's going to show you how to do an inside out in his own words.
Oh, I'm going to lay down some vinyl. I'm going to go in. Ooh, that's a big air bubble. Hold on. Oh, it's because there's a hole there. I'm going to go down, lay some vinyl, trim it up. Then go pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, because it's a gun.
I guess that makes sense.
Importance of eating vinyl.
Well, how does this help?
Just, get you in tune with what you're doing.
Get you one with the vinyl?
One with the vinyl, one with the lacrosse head.
Well, then you have to eat the lacrosse head then?
No,
Just the vinyl.
just the vinyl.
And make sure you eat it off the X-Acto, right? For
Yes,
safety?
for safety.
Yeah, you don't want to poke yourself in the eye with your fingernail or anything.
Yeah, no. Especially with a glove that you can't feel anything with.
The prostate glove.
With all the artwork finished on the head, we're going to throw it in the fridge. And what this does is it kind of seals the vinyl to the head and also hardens the hot glue, which makes it a little bit more resilient when we go and throw it in the hot dye, keeping your lines clean.
The hot glue set. Stirring it. I'm making sure there's no runs in the dye. That's why they called me the sauce boss.
Nobody calls you the sauce boss.
The sauce boss.
With the dye complete, next up we got to completely clean the head. So Chris is going to take off all the hot glue, all the marble, all the vinyl, and all the decals to make it nice and clean. Give it a little bit of rinse, and we should be good to go to string it up. This first head is actually for Dane Smith of the Buffalo Bandits. He is currently the leading scorer in the NLL by I think like 30%. I think he has over 90 points. I think the next guy has 60 something. Unbelievable player, and is really a true box lacrosse player. So for this, we're going to give him a nice kind of baggy mid-high 4 straight 10 diamond top string. Really just a traditional box pocket that is going to be good at everything you need to do on the floor. And the best thing about this string job, I'm going to be using a soon to be released Fiber Spectrum colorway. Last week I taught you guys how to string a KI knot, but the one thing I forgot is to show you how to sit the diamonds inside each of the knots. So after you do your KI, what you want to do is really pull the mesh as tight as you can towards the inside. Because sometimes after you do the KI, as you can see here, the mesh wants to kind of loop on the outside of the head and not lay flush. So we're going to grab the mesh and pull it as tight as we can, really pulling the mesh inside the knots and making sure that the outer salvage lays nice and flush all the way around the knot. This is going to really make the pocket as deep as it can at that certain point, and also give you the smoothest release because the mesh will be locked down, and also give you more hold. All three heads are strung up and they came out absolutely mint. I love that each one has the same kind of textural elements with the marble, with the inside out, but each features their own different kind of Bandits colorway to it. They're pretty fresh. First up, we have an Under Amour charge for Steve Priola, one of the premier defensemen in the National Lacrosse League. First up, you're going to see the purple fade. This is probably my favorite of the dye colorways. I love the purple and orange combined, mixing together, and then the punch outs are super clean. On this one, we did buffalo on one side. In terms of stringing, we did it with white fiber and the black accent stringing. Kind of makes it a little bit more tough because we use the purple and the orange. Nice mid pocket, going to shift a little bit, have crazy hold, and a nice smooth release with 3 straights, perfect for a defenseman. Next up is Billy D. Smith stick. He's another great defenseman on the Bandits. He's actually cousins with Dane, which was pretty entertaining, trying to figure out what each of the Smiths wanted. But nonetheless, we hooked it up, and Chris absolutely loved the way this one turned out. It's definitely his favorite. It's got a really cool kind of tan gray fade at the top. He wanted kind of more gray in the stick. And then probably my favorite part is it says "Get Some" on the inside, which is just kind of badass for, you know, a hard-nosed defenseman like himself. This one also features the new or soon to be released fiber Spectrum colorway, and we did the same pocket as Priolo's, another defenseman, going to be super clean, released to it with a ton of hold. Finally, we wrapped up Dane's setup. It's an Under Amour Command featuring a black fade up top, orange fiber sidewalls, and then again the soon to be released fiber Spectrum mesh. True box pocket in it. The look of it is just awesome. I love kind of the 2 oranges playing off the blacks. If you know Dane's kind of style and what he looks like on the floor and how he plays, this looks like him to the T, so I think he's going to absolutely love it. Just a great looking stick. Really happy with how this project turned out. It's always fun when Chris and I get to collaborate and really tackle a difficult project when there's 3 heads involved for such important players. Really challenging our techniques, learning from it, and then sharing it with you. And then probably the biggest part is seeing them actually use them. You know, some of the best in the game using your work. There's not really another feeling like it. In case you missed it, the TLN Interlock Challenge wrapped up this week, and here's a quick clip.
After tallying up all the points from all 4 challenges, we now have the winner of the first ever Interlock stringing competition. So congrats to Joe on being the first ever Interlock champion. The trophy is yours.
So we won, and that is awesome. And apparently outside they're very happy as well for me. Moving on, the other big project this week was 3 custom setups, or my recommendations for Universal Lacrosse. Throne products are now going to be carried in all Universals, which is super awesome. Great news there. And what they wanted from me was kind of my recommendation for attack, midi, and defense under the new high school regulations, kind of the new heads that have come out, and also the new fiber system. So what we wanted to do for this is just string up my recommendation of the 3 heads and get them over to Universal so they can study them and replicate them for you guys when you go into the store. And quick stringer's note, when you're stringing, if you know you have it, or even if you thought you had this string and you can't find it, look down, it'll be on your feet. First up, we have the Attackman setup. This is an STX Stallion 550U. It's featuring the Cobalt Spectrum fiber system. Absolutely love this blue. And it's featuring a true low pocket, nice and defined, gonna have unbelievable one-handed cradling, and then a really clean, quick release, even with that low pocket to get out, giving you great accurate feeds and quick dunks on the crease. You're gonna be looking, you know, dirty all day on that crease with this setup. The second setup is for midfield, and it's featuring the Maverick-centric U with the all diamond fiber system, the all white with a little bit of gold to it. This is your true run and gun, alley dodging, turning your hips, getting your hands out, rocking the ball past the goalie. Setup, it features a mid-high, nice and defined. We're gonna drop that nylon down a bit, give me a little bit more snap. It's just gonna be good for all of you middies that are shooting, 12 yards out, getting that dodge down, getting up, throwing it across, doing what you need to do in that outer position. And again, it's gonna have a lot of power to it. The final setup is for you D-man, and it is featuring the new Warrior regulator in our Ruby Fiber Spectrum colorway. Super, super awesome colorway. Before we even get to it, that gold on the throat with the gold shooter, it gets me every time. Not to mention, you can beat the living hell out of someone with this stick and it will still be fine. Nice and stiff, nice channel to it. And with this, we're doing a nice mid-low. Gonna have a super clean release with a little bit of whip with that bagging towards the top, allowing you to get a little bit more of a hard pass off, a little bit more laser on that clear. The ball is going to be channeled really well in the stick, especially matching that regulator scoop. All in all, you can beat the hell out of people, you'll pick up every ground ball, and you'll have a beautiful release. Be sure to follow Universal on Instagram and YouTube to see all the future projects between Throne and Universal. We've got a lot of cool things planned, and I have a feeling you guys are going to like it. This has been an unbelievably crazy week. Season is officially here, and we wouldn't have it any other way. In the comments below, let me know how your guys' season is going. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to throw it a like and subscribe to Throne Lacrosse to not miss the next one. You can see all Throne featured products here on thronelacrosse.com. I have a link in the description below or the eye in the top right-hand corner. See you next time in the Throne Room.